Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast special edition show where I recap the 2023 NBA Draft. I'm going to go over picks 1 through 58, give out first round grades, and talk about some thoughts from every team. All right, the number one overall pick, we knew it was happening. It was Victor Wembanyama, the big man out of France. The Spurs get an A+. I mean, what else is there have to be said, really? Number 2, the Charlotte Hornets take Brandon Miller, the power forward out of Alabama. I give them a C. Listen, I think Brandon Miller has a chance to be an all-star, but I personally would have taken Scoot Henderson and seen how it worked out with him and LaMelo together. And if it didn't work out, you trade LaMelo. Because I think Scoot has higher upside than the LaMelo Ball. And LaMelo, to me, is not the guy that can lead you to a championship as your best player. Scoot, I think, has a chance to be that down the road. Or you had to trade the pick and got a lot back, and it could have been Zion or it could have been something else. But you go with somebody that was booed by your fan base, and you know why they were booed? Or you know why they booed? Because A, it wasn't Scoot Henderson, and B, Brandon Miller had that bad incident when he was in college. So there was a reason why he was booed. So, yeah. Number 3, the Portland Trailblazers take Scoot Henderson, the point guard out of G League Ignite. They get an A+. I think Portland did the right thing by taking Henderson. They lucked out, courtesy of Charlotte. And now the next big name traded, it's going to be Damian Lillard, as he has not had recent talks about draft free agency or his future with the Blazers. So you know he's getting traded. That is a no-brainer. And it's a matter of when, not if, at this point. And Portland gets to rebuild around Scoot Henderson. Number 4, the Houston Rockets take Amen Thompson, the point guard out of Overtime Elite. That's another A+. I think Amen Thompson has a chance to be an all-star, too. Number 5, the Detroit Pistons take All-Star Thompson, the wing out of Overtime Elite. They also get an A+. I think both Thompson brothers have a chance to be all-stars. And they're going to help out those respective young cores. Number 6, the Orlando Magic go with Anthony Black, the point guard out of Kansas. I give this an A. Orlando had some options. I still think this is a very good pick. And now the question is, do you trade Cole Anthony? Do you trade Jalen Suggs? And then you have Cam Whitmore still on the board. And you could have taken him to complement all those young pieces. Number 7, the Washington Wizards move up one spot to 7 from Indiana and take Bilal Koulibaly, the small forward from France. I give them a B. I think it's a little risky that they did that. He has to be good. And I think he's going to be a solid pro, but people are hyping him up because he was Victor Wembanyama's teammate. And my fear is that Victor Wembanyama made him look good. So, yeah. I'm giving this grade a B. Good young building block, but was it worth trading up one spot for? I understand if you're afraid that somebody else is going to beat your offer, then you got to do it. but I would have done it for Cam Whitmore. Number 8, the Indiana Pacers from the Washington Wizards. Jarris Walker, the power forward out of Houston. They get an A+. They move back one spot and still get their guy and take advantage of a desperate team in Washington. So good job by Indiana. Number 9, the Utah Jazz. Taylor Hendricks, the power forward out of UCF. They get an A. They get some depth behind Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. So a solid pick for them. Number 10, the Oklahoma City Thunder trade up to that spot from the Dallas Mavericks and take Cason Wallace, the point guard out of Kentucky. I give them an A. They needed a guard. They were afraid that somebody else was going to trade up to that spot and get the pick, and they had to take on the Davies Bertans contract to acquire that pick. The Orlando Magic at 11 take Jett Howard, the wing out of Michigan. They get a C-. I hate this pick for them. It's not Grady Dick. It's not Cam Whitmore. It's somebody that should have gone in the late teens. I don't think Jett Howard's going to be a bust or anything, but Orlando could have moved down for him or something. I think just him at 11 to reach. That's the whole point of this exercise with the grades. Number 12, the Dallas Mavericks from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Derek Lively, the center out of Duke, they get an A+. They get the trade exception, and they get the guy that they coveted. Number 13, the Toronto Raptors take Grady Dick, the shooting guard out of Kansas. They get an A+. Really good pick for them. Number 14, the New Orleans Pelicans. Jordan Hawkins, the shooting guard out of UConn. They get an A. He could be a swing guy off the bench. Number 15, the Atlanta Hawks go with Toby Buffkin, the guard out of Michigan. They also get an A. Now the question is, what did they do with the DeJounte Trae Young backcourt? 16, the Utah Jazz. Keontae George, the wing out of Baylor. They get an A-. Again, Cam Whitmore still on the board, and you go with someone who can't shoot and Keontae George. I mean, yes, I had him 16 on my big board, but Cam Whitmore was still on the board. 17, the Los Angeles Lakers. Jalen Hood-Schifino, the guard out of Indiana. I give them an A for that. They needed some youth, especially in the guard position. So I like that pick a lot for them. And then plus they might lose Austin Reeves, so they could use that as a replacement. 18, the Miami Heat. Jaime Jaquez, the wing out of UCLA. They get an A. Perfect Heat player. I love Jaquez. 19, the Golden State Warriors. Brandon Podziemski, shooting guard, Santa Clara. They get a B+. Again, Whitmore still on the board. They had other potential options that could have helped them as well. Number 20, the Houston Rockets. Cam Whitmore, small forward, Villanova. They get an A+. This is the steal of the draft, in my opinion. So you have him and Amen Thompson. Good job on Houston by getting two guys that could have gone in the top 5. So, fabulous job by the Rockets there. Number 21, the Brooklyn Nets. Noah Clowney, the power forward out of Alabama. They get a B. I just think that there are better choices for Brooklyn on the board. They could have gotten the guard, but they choose to go with a guy they liked. Number 22, the Brooklyn Nets. Dariq Whitehead, the small forward out of Duke. I gave Brooklyn a for this one. I like Dariq Whitehead. Really talented player, lottery talent. So I can't kill them on that one. 23, the Portland Trailblazers. Chris Murray, the power forward out of Iowa, they get an A. They take him before Sacramento has a chance to take him. And it's a guy that could be another building block for them. It's him, it's Scoot, and Shaedon Sharpe, and maybe a Fernie Simons, depending on what they do with him. And then in this scenario, they trade Lillard. 24, the Dallas Mavericks trade up to 24 from the Sacramento Kings. Olivier Maxence Prosper, power forward out of Marquette. I gave the pick a B-. Good on the Mavs, like, trying to get back in the draft, but there are better guys on the board that could have helped the Mavs more. Could have gone with the wing. Number 15, the Detroit Pistons from the Boston Celtics. Marcus Sasser, the point guard out of Houston, they get a C+. Sasser, to me, is not first-round talent. He should have gone in the second round. Number 26, the Indiana Pacers. Ben Shepherd, shooting guard, Belmont. I give them a B. Nice pick, but there are better players on the board. 27, the Charlotte Hornets. Nick Smith, shooting guard, Arkansas, A+. Bravo, Charlotte. No, this doesn't make up for the Brandon Miller decision, but I think it's a good pick for Charlotte and a steal at 27. 28, the Utah Jazz. Bryce Sensabaugh, shooting guard, Ohio State. They get a B+. Again, I just feel that there were better players on the board, but I do understand the need. 29, the Denver Nuggets. Julian Strawweather, shooting guard, Gonzaga. I give this a C-. I think there are more impactful guys on the board for Denver to take there. Maybe they're looking at Bryce Sensabaugh. That would have been a better pick. Colby Jones would have been better. Maxwell Lewis, Jalen Wilson, Leonard Miller. Like, there's a lot. G.G. Jackson, Rayon Rupert, Andre Jackson. So they could have gone in a lot of different directions. And number 30, the Los Angeles Clippers. Kobe Brown, power forward, Missouri. They get a D. Kobe Brown was 50 on my board, not 30. There's other guys that could have been more impactful for them. Keontae Johnson, Bobby Clintman, Andre Jackson, Drew Timme, Gregory Jackson, Maxwell Lewis, Colby Jones, Leonard Miller, Trace Jackson Davis. But yeah, I can't believe Kobe Brown made the first round. All right, the rest of the draft picks, no grades. 31, this turned out to be Charlotte's pick from Boston and Detroit. James Nagy, the center out of France. Number 32, the Denver Nuggets. Jalen Pickett, the point guard out of Penn State. Nice little backup point guard for DeJounte Murray there. 33, the Minnesota Timberwolves get this pick from San Antonio. Leonard Miller, small forward, G League Ignite. Really good pick for Minnesota. 34, the Sacramento Kings from Boston and Charlotte. Colby Jones, the shooting guard out of Xavier. Nice pick for Sacramento. 35, the Washington Wizards. Julian Phillips, small forward out of Tennessee. 36, Milwaukee Bucks from the Orlando Magic. Andre Jackson, the small forward out of UConn. I like that pick from Milwaukee. 37, the Denver Nuggets from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hunter Tyson, the small forward out of Clemson. 38, the Boston Celtics. Jordan Walsh, the small forward out of Arkansas. 39, the Charlotte Hornets. Mohamed Gueye, the power forward out of Washington State. 40, the Los Angeles Lakers from the Denver Nuggets. Maxwell Lewis, the small forward out of Pepperdine. Really good pick for the Lakers. 41, the Charlotte Hornets. Amari Baylor, the shooting guard out of UCLA. 42, the Washington Wizards. Tristan Vukovic, power forward from Greece. 43, Portland Trailblazers. Rayon Repair to the shooting guard out of France. Really good pick for Portland. That's a steal there. 44 to San Antonio Spurs. City Sissoko, the shooting guard from G League Ignite. 45, the Memphis Grizzlies. Gregory Jackson, shooting guard of South Carolina. Really good pick for Memphis. 46, the Atlanta Hawks. Seth Lundy, the shooting guard at Penn State. 47, the Indiana Pacers from Los Angeles Lakers. Majavi King, shooting guard, G League Ignite. 48, the Los Angeles Clippers. Jordan Miller, the small forward out of Miami. 49, the Cleveland Cavaliers take Amani Bates, the small forward out of Eastern Michigan. 50, OKC takes Keontae Jackson, the small forward out of Kansas State. I think that's a nice pick for them. 51, the Brooklyn Nets. Jalen Wilson, the small forward out of Kansas. Really good pick for Brooklyn. 52, Washington Wizards from the Phoenix Suns. Tamani Kamara, the power forward out of Dayton. 53, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jalen Clark, the shooting guard at UCLA. Really good pick there. 54, the Sacramento Kings. Jalen Swanson, the power forward from Furman. 55, the Indiana Pacers. Isaiah Wong, the point guard out of Miami. 56, the Memphis Grizzlies. Tariq Bivarovic, the power forward from Turkey. That's the lone player from my top 75 the lone player that did not make my top 75 that got drafted. So that is a interesting little note there. 57, the Golden State Warriors from the Washington Wizards. Trace Jackson Davis, the power forward from Indiana. Great pick for Golden State. And 58, the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Livingston, the small forward from Kentucky. All right, so some undrafted free agents that we're going to talk about where they went. So Drew Timme. But that's funny because I don't know where a lot of these guys went. So Drew Timme. That was my best undrafted player. And it looks like that he will be going to the Milwaukee Bucks on a Exhibit 10 deal, so he'll be playing Summer League for them. I know Adama Sanogo signed somewhere. He went to the Bulls, so that's a two-way contract for the Bulls. So good pickup for Chicago. Bobby Klintman. He actually kind of withdrew from the draft. I didn't even know about this. So he signed with the Cairns Tapans as a part of the NBL Next Stars program. So I didn't know about that. So I should take him off the list completely. Oscar Tshiebwe was another one. He went to the sorry I'm taking so long on this one. So we'll see. I don't even see a team linked to him. For Quavion Smith, he is going to the Philadelphia 76ers, as is Azuolas Tubelis and Ricky Council. So the Sixers are getting some young talent for the summer league, and maybe with a chance to make their team. Sir Jabari Rice to the Spurs. So that is an interesting one there. Another one is Adam Flagger. I don't see a team linked to him. We talked about Ricky Council already, going to the Sixers. How about the one from Princeton? Tosan Evu Bauman. We'll see where he ended up. Detroit. Leaky Black. That's an interesting one. Charlotte. Go figure. Jayson Gortman from G League Ignite. Because sometimes these undrafted guys come through. So I do not see a team with him yet either. I know Marquise Noel's side. He went to the Raptors. I think that's a nice UDFA signing for them. Mike Miles Jr., I know, went somewhere to Dallas. It's not a bad one, so he stays close to TCU. We talked about Atu Bayless already. How about Charles Bediako? Let's see where he... San Antonio. Marcus Bagley from Zona State. Looks like he's going to the Sixers. Colin Castleton from Florida. Lakers. Demoy Hodge out of Missouri. Let's see. Lakers. Omari Moore out of San Jose State. Golden State, maybe? Milwaukee. And Liam Robbins is the last one out of the top 75 that didn't get drafted. From Vandy, the big man. I don't see a team linked to him either. So, some takeaways really quickly before I go right into my regular show. The Hawks, maybe they are looking to break up that backcourt. Boston, a lot of maneuvering and trying to clear cap room. Are they trying to extend Porzingis or something? And I thought it would have been wise for them to stay in the first round. The Brooklyn Nets have the two rookies, Whitehead and Noah Clowney. And they took Jalen Wilson too, so they had a really nice night. Charlotte, we covered them already. I think they made the wrong decision. Chicago, sneaking into the draft to take Julian Phillips. And then getting some UDFAs was nice. Cleveland, Imani Bates is like a little upside play. Dallas, clearing cap room to re-sign Kyrie. Maybe they want Draymond. I know they acquired Rashawn Holmes in that deal with the 24th pick for Sacramento. So they got a big there. And then I personally think that there's more to the Dallas situation with the clearing of the Bertans contract. The Denver Nuggets, trying to hit on some guys again, but I just think that there's better talent on the board for them to take. The Detroit Pistons, Oscar Thompson, great pick. Don't like moving up for the point guard, though, from Houston, Marcus Sasser. I think Boston could have picked there and taken somebody that could have helped them. The Golden State Warriors, they go with Brandon Podziemski, and that's who Memphis was told. That's what we were told Memphis loved. But they traded out of that spot to get Marcus Smart, as we know. Well, they could have gone with Nick Smith. They could have gone with somebody else, as we covered earlier. And then getting back into the second round and getting Trace Jackson Davis, I like, though. The Houston Rockets, they take Amen Thompson. Ken Whitmore fell to them, so you can make a case the Rockets had the best night last night, other than San Antonio, obviously. The Indiana Pacers, they trade back and get their guy, Jarris Walker. That was really good what Indiana was able to pull off. And at 26, they take Ben Shepherd. Don't love that pick, but I don't hate it either. Getting Majave King in the third round. The Los Angeles Clippers, they keep the 30th pick and go with Kobe Brown. I did not like that pick. And then they take Jordan Miller out of Miami in the second round. Los Angeles Lakers, they went with Jalen Hood-Schifino, which I liked. And then getting Maxwell Lewis in round 2 was awesome, too. So, nice picks for the Lakers. The Grizzlies, they trade out of the first round. And then in round 2, they take Gregory Jackson out of South Carolina. The Miami Heat go with Jaime Jaquez, just a perfect player for them in round 1. And they did not have any round 2 picks. Milwaukee sneaks into the second round and takes Andre Jackson, which was a nice pick. Minnesota gets into the second round too. Leonard Miller, great pick. And then even Jalen Clark was a good pick at the end of the second round. So I had to plug Minnesota for that one. The Pelicans ultimately stayed put and go with Jordan Hawkins out of UConn. Nice player for them. And I do not think that they'll end up trading Zion now. The New York Knicks did not make a pick in the draft at all. And I did not see any of my favorite UDFAs get linked to them too. So nothing new on the for the Knicks. OKC goes with Case and Wallace as they trade up. And then they take Keontae Johnson in round 2, which was a good pick. So they had a really good night. Orlando, now the question is Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, do any of them get traded? They take Anthony Black from Arkansas. And then they take Grady Dick from Kansas. 2 really nice picks for Orlando. The Philadelphia 76ers had a couple of UDFAs, but did not have a pick last night. And some of the UDFAs I like that they signed. I do like Azuolas Tubelis. I like Ricky Council. And Traquavion Smith, I think, was the other one. So I like their UDFAs. Phoenix. Obviously, wasn't really involved in the draft last night either. They've just been involved in a lot of trades. But the question is, do they trade DeAndre Ayton at all? The Portland Trailblazers obviously take Scoot. We just covered that. The question is, when will Dame request his trade? Honestly, won't be shocked if we come on Monday's podcast and Damian Lillard's on another team. Next is, and oh, by the way, Portland made a good pick at 23 with Chris Murray, too. The Sacramento Kings, they trade out of 24 to get off the Holmes contract. They take Jalen Swanson out of Furman at the end of the first or the second round. Just a cute little depth piece there. The Spurs, like I said, the biggest winners of the night, Victor Wembanyama, as we know. And then they take City Sissoko as well, which, in my opinion, was a decent pick. The Toronto Raptors, and I meant to say Jett Howard for Orlando, not Grady Dick. I had Grady Dick in my head because we've been mocking him to Orlando so much. So yeah, Jett Howard and Anthony Black to Orlando. And then Toronto takes Grady Dick at 13. As we hit on earlier. Great pick. Good catch and shoot player. They should be happy with him. The Utah Jazz. Taylor Hendricks. Bryce Sensabaugh. And Keontae George. In the first round. Interesting players. They all fill needs. But they still lack a point guard. And then the Washington Wizards trade up for Bilal Coulibaly. Big risk. Could very well pay off, though. And then they trade that Julian Phillips pick. To the Bulls. Which was interesting. And then they take a Toumani Camara out of Dayton at the end of the first round. So, there you have it for the draft recap podcast. And we'll go over a lot of the draft stuff and news and notes as well on the regular show. So, hope you enjoyed this.